Drivers, start your engines!
Okay, we're taking a look at some of the fixed setups that iRacing provides. As you know, we are at the iRacing Super Speedway, a virtual racetrack located in Massachusetts. It is 3-mile oval. It's very wide. And in the draft, you can get over 250 miles per hour. Pretty amazing. Let's take a look at the settings that iRacing offers us. We'll go to the garage. You cannot change anything with tire pressures, but look for this track. Look what they've done. Left front, 43 psi. Left rear 44 psi, the right front 60 psi, and the right rear 58 psi. That's pretty unusual. That's just unique to this virtual Super Speedway track. But once again, in a fixed setup, you can't change any of these tire pressures. So you go to chassis, and again, everything is fixed here. Well, if you look at all the different things that normally you can adjust in an open set, they're all fixed here. You can't change any of them. So your spring rate, your shock rates, packers, ride height, all these kinds of things are all the same. Same for the rears. Can't make any adjustments. But you can make pre-adjustments here. Steering ratio, 10-to-1 is pretty decent. This track, and most tracks are fixed, but you might want to go up to 12, 14 for some tracks. Steering offset is plus 10 according to iRacing, but I kind of disagree. I kind of think that it's a little better at plus 6. This determines where your steering wheel is pointing, and I like to have my steering wheel pointing in the same direction on the monitor as it is in real life here. Front brake bias. Well, if you're doing a lot of braking, very important, maybe the short track. At this 3-mile oval, there's not much braking going on. You have to brake a little bit when you're going in the pits, but really it's not significant. Not hard braking. So we can move around with this a little bit. I kind of like to move it up to 70%. I can move it plus or minus 3% in game if I think 70 is too high. But again, 70 to me, I kind of like the feel of that. The stability seems good for me. Other people will say, no, you want to go lower than 65, maybe 62. But I think this is pretty good. I kind of like this. So those are the fixed settings I go with. Here's one other little thing you can do. If you go into options, there are a lot of things you can adjust on your setup here. All kinds of things. The shifting aid is nice if you're doing a lot of shifting. Not shifting the oval up and down so you don't have to worry about it. It's not a road course. Force feedback, very important. And the steering wheel range is what I'm going to take a look at. You can go as high as the 1080, and that means your map range is to 1080. But if you bring this down a little bit, like the 900 degree mark, And then map range, you have now a choice of going between 900 and the 1080. So if you want to try something around 950, 975, maybe those are settings that you can tell whether your car is loosening up or not. I kind of like a slightly tight car, so I'm leaving this at 925. So within wheel range and map range, you can experiment with those settings a little bit. Now there is something else that you can take a look at. If you are a Fanatec owner of a DD1, DD2, or these direct drive wheels, you can go to the Fanalab software and take a look at that. And mine's a little out of date right now. I haven't updated it. But you've got a tuning menu where you can do all kinds of adjustments. Each one gives you a little description. And you'll find all kinds of videos on YouTube saying what are maybe the best settings for each of these characteristics. But I think it's important that you find a baseline somewhere. Maybe this is your baseline. Maybe you like what I have. Maybe you like what someone else has in a different YouTube video. And then you start adjusting them. You adjust the sliders up and down, or you can turn things on or off. Okay, and then by doing that, you can slowly adjust your settings. So adjust one thing at a time, test it, see if it makes a difference to you or not. And this is all going to affect how you feel about your car, how it drives, the confidence. Got some steering wheel adjustments. Then we can go into dynamic force feedback. And again, you've got some changes that you can make. You can enable it or disable it. Driving in reverse, I disable it. I don't need force feedback when I'm in a wreck and I want to go backwards. Don't need the car to be shaken or for the wheel to be shaking like crazy in a wreck. But overall for driving, again, you can adjust these settings. Some people have them cranked up, some people have them cranked down. This is sort of what I use. So you have to go to Fanalab on the web, download the software, and then go through these settings. Read them, see what they say, check what other people have done, check what I've done, and then adjust them the way you like. Vibration as well. You can do things with your steering wheel and the pedals. If your pedals have little motors attached to them, you can get some vibration through that. I have vibration in my steering wheel, and I have it down here on my pedals, and it is very helpful. It does make you feel like you're driving something because it's got the vibration to it, the shake to it. But also when you're sliding or turning and you're slipping, when you've got oversteer, you can feel these things through the steering wheel and through the pedals in your feet, and you get used to that. And actually, the more you get used to it, the more maybe you want to make adjustments to it. Crank it up, go down. Fanalab software also lets you adjust LEDs on your steering wheel if you have that. And you can save your profiles. You can have multiple profiles and you can export them. So that's kind of nice. I'll just minimize that. So that's just a little brief introduction to some of the things that you have at your disposal for tweaking in a fixed setup race. It is very possible that maybe your specific steering wheel or pedals has software you can download for it, where you can do similar kinds of changes to force feedback and other parameters. So definitely check into the manuals or any information or YouTube tutorials that might talk about your specific type of wheel or pedals or your software you're using or anything else you've got. And maybe these kinds of things can assist you when you're driving. I also have an iPad set up right over here, and I'm using SimHub on that for a track map and some tire statistics I can glance at that while I'm driving. I have over here, this direction, a Stream Deck Mini that I've programmed with all kinds of iRacing functions. So it looks like a button box. Great. And of course the steering wheel has a bunch of buttons on it that I've programmed for simple things like radio, and hitting in the black box, and volume up, volume down, volume mute, quick buttons to get to the fuel, the brake bias, stuff like that. So these things are of a definite advantage to you to fiddle with, to exploit, try to see what you can get out of it. So see what you can do. Enjoy your iRacing. Fixed racing is a lot of fun, even without any fancy adjustments. But if you can tweak it a little bit, hey, go for it. Now, back to our regularly scheduled race.